Hi folks, welcome to the China versus Europe Championship. So we have only two pairings left. So this is the semi-final that we're going to watch today. And as you can see, it's Bing versus Robert. And the game has started, so we'll join it immediately so we don't miss anything. And fortunately, I am once again joined by Lukas on the stream. Hello, Lukas.
Hello, thank you for having me. I've been out of the loop the past couple of rounds, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how the top players will perform.
Yeah, so Robin, that's Bing on the bottom playing Martell, Battle of the Trident. So he dropped into the losers bracket pretty early in the tournament and then made his way through to this final match of the losers bracket. And Robert, as you can see, playing Fealty today. He survived in the winners bracket until the final match against Reinhardt. So this is his first match in the losers bracket. So whoever loses this one is eliminated from the tournament, and the winner gets to play Reinhardt in the final, presumably the following weekend. So we
All
have.
right.
Is this a burn deck?
Yeah,
Um,
I would say so. It's Targaryen and Burn Drogon, Dragon is no slave, Astapor. Looks like Targ Fealty Burn.
and the old tactic going into naval with Behest.
Smart play.
Gets rid of 3 gold, so it's not like hitting Late Summer Feast or something like that, but still could be useful.
Yeah, especially considering Bing has had the upper hand regarding board presence at the moment. Just to me Sunday on Robert's side. And with 1 gold, probably won't change much.
Yeah, so it is a summer plot. If he has quota in hand, he could put him into play, but not sure if burn decks play that. Maybe with 2 exchange of informations, you can afford that.
Yeah, he's probably also playing maybe Time of Plenty. It's also a pseudo hard draw. A lot of gold. Might be seeing that. I'm kind of hoping Bing will win, so we have a true China versus Europe finale. But also, as I'm a big fan of Robert and his strong performance, especially with Burn, uh, hard
Yes,
to hard to
so
choose a favorite.
I checked the players' profiles on the Jousting Pavilion just before the game, and Bing is plays Martell most of the time. Obviously, it's it's not complete. His profile is not complete on the Jousting Pavilion because most of those events that he plays in person won't be entered there. But I think he is mostly a Martell player, so it would be interesting with Reinhardt, who also we know plays one faction exclusively, to have a matchup like that. And on the other hand, Robert is not really a loyalist. He has tournament entries with all 8 factions, so I think that's a useful thing to have in this tournament because he played a couple with Tyrell, I think, and if people start expecting Tyrell and you can switch to something else that you are also comfortable with, it's a great advantage.
Yeah, definitely agree there. And Robert's statistics say he's a very, very good player, has a 72% win rate in tournament games.
Yeah, it's impressive. Mine is, I think, just above 50, something like 52. So get to 70 is really good. And okay, he does have a character now, Viserys, coming into play. So if the military challenge is initiated, and I'm sure it will be, that's Dawn, probably discarded.
Yeah, probably the best one-cost character Robert could have wished for in this situation.
And the card in shadows for burn. This could be one of those assassins that kills a character with low strength, or it could always be Aegon.
Yeah.
Also, I think maybe if he was expecting a matchup like this, old Bill Bone, you can always put him in the deck. He's cheap enough and blocks an entire round with his needing the faction card, which
Yeah,
that
definitely a good inclusion in any deck, I think.
yeah, messes up quite a few agendas. Some you don't really worry about. Okay, if he messes up your Fealty, not a problem. But Battle of the Trident, which relies on that trigger in the challenges phase, is quite damaging.
Yeah, I think against Martell in general, considering Secret Schemes uses the faction card, it's always, you're never sad to see old Blue Bone.
Yeah, and I think this deck probably plays a lot of draw because all the Chinese players go for that, and
Yep.
even the Battle of the Trident version that a few of the players played here is slightly different to the one I usually see. It has more of these used plots synergies. Plays Galtown and as you saw, opening with Behest, which is gets the number up immediately, but then you lose that trick that Behest can do because it's an edict plot, so you can trigger it on an intrigue challenge and then reveal something
All right, yeah.
else in the challenges phase, like a desperate attack before you do military, which is a really good play. So clearly, I think some of the players that play this version, they think that getting the used plots is more important.
Okay, so we have a Dornish Fiefdom and Windblown from Bing in the marshalling phase. And now it's on to the challenges. No good target for assault yet, so Windblown will probably just do an intrigue challenge, probably, or maybe block it, do the intrigue with the Greenblood Trader. We will see. And no intimidate from Dawn, correct? It's not an House Dane character.
Right, but there could be. Let's see. So what do you need to reveal March to the wall here? It's an edict, right? So you could do it on an intrigue challenge. So
Yeah, that's right,
military
yeah.
first and then intrigue to reveal marched gets rid of the entire board in theory. But she still opposes Miss Sunday. You can't get rid of her before that. Okay, he's going for it in the military challenge.
Reinforcements.
Okay, so that's like gaining 5 gold basically. And gets around the kneel for Quentin, so he is now standing. Yeah, no Omen plot cards in the Battle of the Trident decks, so we know that it won't be very heavy on resets. So probably just
Well, Fire Assault, I guess.
yeah, that's the one that you can play. You can keep the renown guys with that. So thinking Quentin will stay on the board now, and currently we have one used plot, so next round will be two, and yeah, still needs another one to stop him kneeling in next round.
Yeah, but I think Bing is really happy getting just unopposed and renown on a character.
Yeah, and still one character left to win dominance, so it's definitely a good start power-wise and puts the pressure on immediately. So we'll see next round with gold if Robert can start burning stuff.
Oh, I just saw there's a Beggar King on me Sunday, boosting Robert's economy, possibly for the next rounds. So might have been even better to do the do the march to the wall trick with Intrigue Challenge to remove that as well. But Bing opts for returning the Windblown to Shadows to stand Knights of the Sun.
Which doesn't have renown.
Probably just to save it for a possible reset.
Yeah. Drogon gone from hand, which is always nice. So if you do march to the wall in the plot phase, that also stops the Beggar King from triggering, which is decent enough. But then, okay, with something like Time of Plenty, it would still be 8 gold plus Fealty. Although with Beggar King, you're kind of going for the really low gold plots, so stuff like exchange and counting coppers.
It might have been, if he included Time of Plenty, might have been better to open up with it to get around the naval superiority play, which we've seen quite a lot of times, I remember. I think I've seen it 3 or 4 times yet.
Yeah, with Templots, I guess you can always go for that. And you know if you will hit because you open with Behest. Of course, if it's Time of Plenty, then you don't switch to naval and you're kind of stuck with it then for the rest of the game. Usually there isn't a good opportunity. Okay, and he's thinking that duel won't do anything here, which could be correct. Drogon was one of the targets and he's already gone. 1 copy anyway from hand. Of course, you cannot include everything, so we are speculating about the plots here a little bit. There might not be March to the Wall in the deck at all, although I have a suspicion that there is.
So we have Slaver's Bay, Daenerys, Burn Daenerys, Estate, another Slaver's Bay port, another Astapor, another Estate, Rhaegal, Beggar King, Nightmares, and Stormco. So it will be 4 cards if I counted correctly. Not a bad reveal.
And Rhaegal is the 3-cost version, of course, as expected.
Yeah, I mean the other one, the 5-cost version, also has synergy with Burn, but I don't think people include that one as often as they include the small one in Burn decks.
Yeah, so if you have the 5-cost Daenerys, it doesn't work with her because she doesn't have the Stormborn trait, but it's you're going for the cheap ones, I think, because you need them for Dracarys. And also they work with Fire and Blood, which is another event that can trigger Daenerys.
Yeah, and I think we've seen Fire and Blood with the first exchange of information reveal. So definitely fits into that game plan.
And there is another card in Shadows now, so if 3 gold is left, we'll probably know that Aegon is a possibility.
The Assassins are 2 gold from Shadows, right?
Not sure. Probably. That sounds about right.
Still not looking that good for Robert yet, with Bing still to Marshall and 4 power to 0 up. Also 1 card in Shadows from Bing, that will be the Windblown, correct? Or did I miss anything?
Yes. Windblown did return to Shadows last round.
Even more economy for Robert. Building up his backboard for future turns. But Bing also not looking bad. economy-wise. And 12 cards still in hand for Robert.
Yeah, Incinerate takes a few cards to do any damage, but it's not in itself a terminal burn, so you need Daenerys on the board for that, I think.
Here we go. Primary burn target acquired, I would say. Ricasso with 2 gold bestowed.
Yeah, so I don't think he will be going into any challenges if he can help it.
Yep, might also be a bait for Valar Morghulis. Or, just wait for Burn Danny to hit the board and then put on one a Dragon is no slave. That's always a possibility.
Yeah, I think
Can't really play about around.
That could work with the assassins as well, in theory. But 2 gold left for being here, so these Martell decks always seem to have that Hand's Judgment in hand for emergencies. And Windblown, I think, is it Shadows 3? So it won't be coming back here.
Really. I will check it out real quick. It's Shadow 3, yeah. Knights of the Sun gone for Intrigue Claim, not a bad pull. Or is there any way to get armies out of the discard pile in that deck? I'm only aware of the Lannister event that can do that.
In Martell, I don't think you can do that. So manning the city walls, I think, works from hand, and the white swords, okay, obviously not in this deck. I don't think there is any way, apart from reinforcements, which is gone now.
Oh yeah, right. Okay, as expected, Shadow Black Assassin killing the Green Blood Trader, going in for military, being blocked by Quentin, and Robert seems to be thinking about playing a burn event. 3 gold still left in hand. Taking his time deciding. And it's Incinerate. Is it Hand's Judgment time or is it not?
Well, basically at this point, the only thing it does is it helps you push the military challenge through, so there will be claim on a board of 4
there
characters.
might still be another Shadow Black Assassin lurking in the shadows.
Right, and then that one you can't really cancel with Hand's Judgment, so if it's targeting, but okay, so it's targeting Quentin, who is the only participating character here.
Might be able to get him down to 1 strength.
And then you claim the reducer presumably, and you're left with 2 characters, but there is a Hand's Judgment. Although in this case, let's see if Robert has one as well.
Nope.
No. Yeah, so reducing the number of cards in Bing's hand here pretty decently, but okay, so Secret Schemes is one option, and the used plots do grow quite a bit over the course of the game. they needed a faction card, of course, so at least there's that. And the other option that Battle of the Trident decks play is Siege Preparations, which is a little bit slow. You need to wait until Dominance to do that. So usually you would be hoping to reveal it in the challenges phase rather than in the plot phase. And that's a siege plot, so you need to do it on the power challenge.
Yeah, but it's looking good to win the power challenge for Bing, I would say.
Yeah, so if he does it with the army here, and he does, I think that's possibly the reason why. So he's going for siege preparations maybe here. Otherwise, I think military against a small board would have been an option. Is there a way to block this? And if there is it worth it? Is the question.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way you can do that. Drakao is no dragon on the board. Consuming flames won't be enough. And consuming flames in combination with a Shadow Black Assassin doesn't work out gold-wise. Well, there could still be another Insinuate in hand, but I think he would have played that on the military challenge.
Yeah, so he's not going to defend it unless there is Old Bill Bone. This will now be used. Now reserve on siege preparations I think is not going to be huge because there's no modifiers here for Martell. Let's see what gets played here.
Consuming Flames and another Hand's Judgment. Wow.
Okay, that's interesting. So that would have got the character down to 1 strength, so there was still something else to finish the job, presumably. And there we go, so it's just reserve 6 at the moment. And then you are... that plot is gone for a long time.
Yeah, but 4 cards are better than no cards. So still makes sense in this situation to play it, I would say. And Bing, of course, knows better if he has another source of draw in his hand.
Yeah, so Dorn is an option, and the other one is Secret Schemes. I think that's the main two that can draw a big number, and then you have the little Grimlot traders. So it's pretty strong, as Martell decks always are in draw, but not as strong as some of the others. So 6 cards now if Morgulis is played, and there is nothing all that great in hand, and 3 power goes away, and there is a chance to come back, because now I think Robert is under pressure with that scoreline 9 power already.
Definitely, yeah.
Either
Trino
that
Arcana
or
plays.
he needs to do the burn on the big characters here that can gain renown successfully. So 2 hands judgments gone, so at least he knows that any future burn probably will go through now.
Yeah, so might still be a smart move to reset now and then try to get back into the game riding on the burn. Bing predicting a reset and playing Return to the Fields, but Robert just going for counting coppers. Might still work out. 6 power still to gain for Bing. It's doable in one turn, but not so likely.
Yeah, and of course Doran's game is a threat now with Ricasso and 3 used plots, so that wins almost immediately. So through 2 threats you need to defend against the Renown on Knights of the Sun and Quentin, and the Doran's game threat. And Robert going first, so just getting Drogon into play and burning Ricasso or one of the Renowned guys would be pretty decent.
Robert is marshalling a duplicate of Missandei. Interesting. Would have expected it to be discarded for consuming flames or incinerate in the future. So 9 gold in total for Robert, including Fealty. 6 for Drogon would still leave 3 for burn events, which might be enough to turn it around. Well, that's not exactly Drogon, but at least a dragon.
Yeah, getting a couple of duplicates now, so I think if he survives this round, then it should be Morghulis for sure next round. Six gold, so ambush for 6 is an option. Okay, just
goes for the marshalling.
yeah, because Fealty can be used then. And duplicate for Ricasso, he won't want to see that, but Drogon does cut through duplicates if he can push that through.
Tone increasing the plots and followed by secret schemes for 6 cards. Wow.
Yeah, so that's always the problem. So siege preparations doesn't look that scary, but it draws the other draw event possibly, and of course then you get 6 more, and probably among these is another secret schemes or something like that now. So we'll draw forever.
There's a big army with a lot of military strength to block Drogon. Robin with 2 gold left in hand, so no wind blown, but might still be Doran's game, might still be Hans' judgment, although unlikely. No threat of Battle of the Trident, as the faction card is kneeled.
Yeah, maybe the princess plan also. Okay, so this one you can defend with the army, but okay, if some more burn is used here, Drogon could win. So maybe he leaves this one. It's 2 renown on defense, but that goes away in Morghulis anyway. So he can stop Duran's game somehow. For instance, hand judgment in hand would be enough. Then it's not a problem.
Okay, kneeling his dragon. Interesting. And now on to Bing's challenges, going straight in with the intrigue challenge.
Yeah, so two chances to defend this one. Either hand judgment to cancel Duran's game itself, or you could try to bring the strength down so that you don't lose by 5.
Yeah, but that would leave the power challenge unopposed, which is also quite risky.
And the army, of course, does have Intimidate. Okay, Incinerate, that should work. To bring it down to...
6 would be enough.
Yeah.
Then again, that's still enough to intimidate me Sunday.
So unopposed power plus dominance. And heads on spikes is a war plot.
Yeah, that might be a possibility
So on
to
13...
finish it before the reset hits. Might be that's why Robert discarded Stormcrows and Rhaegal for Incinerate and got lucky to discard Bane Brothers for Intrigue Claim.
Yeah,
Maybe
possible.
only events or locations or attachments left in hand.
So what is the counter here against Morghulis? I assume there is only one return to the fields in the deck.
I think it's Plot Deck Limit 1, right?
Yes, it is. Okay,
For the run, just going in for big money.
So he's going to lose the 5 renown he has, but he's just going to re-establish the board, keep the Duran's game threat, which is a pretty good plan, I think.
I think I would have just gambled it for heads on spikes, but then again, I'm not in the semifinal.
Yeah, it's an option. Even okay, this one is 8 gold in theory. Heads on spikes is 4, but you have a few locations, so it's basically 8. If you go first, then you have to go first to trigger heads first. So still decent enough. And now, honestly, Ricasso is not even that important anymore. Okay, he helps with secret schemes, but Duran's game is already kind of on the limit.
Yep.
So even if he gets burned somehow, it's not going to stop the Duran's game win. Now, if Robert did get rid of his characters on purpose, then he needs some luck here with top decking something useful. And surely one of these cards now is Aegon, which is a big tempo play. Bring in Darion Harris, presumably in this deck.
And Ricasso is even an ally. Or doesn't Dario steal allies? Can't remember the traits he steals.
Companion, Mercenary, and ally, yes, I think. So he can take him.
Yeah, but I don't think there's then a way to get rid of Ricasso. The duplicate still is controlled by Bing, so we can still save it from military claim.
Yeah, if you had a way to sacrifice him, it's not really a Targaryen mechanic. Stark can do it with the Bolton event and some other stuff. And here comes more draw. So he needs to find an army to use the reduction if he can.
Another renowned character, not bad either.
And this time I think he will be bestowed, but just the one. So is he trying to win immediately? Or, well, within 2 rounds anyway would be enough.
Okay, 7 gold left for Robert, 5 gold left for Bing. Bing has a windblown army in shadows for 3. The 2 shadow cards of Robert we don't know. Okay, never mind that. Shadow Black Assassin killing the Grimdark Trader.
Yeah, I think he's going to defend against the double renown of the Tattered Prince here. Because he has no claim.
Yeah, Robert passing his challenges, bringing out the Windblown. And to the Spears is also played.
Yeah, in every Martell deck these days, it seems.
Yeah, it's a really strong event and that has lived in the shadows in the past. Never saw it in the first cycles of the game, or even until Wars was released and then redesigned. And now it's pretty much omnipresent.
Okay, so there is a chance to burn the Tattered Prince, I guess now. He is in the challenge, so Dracarys would get him.
Nightmares.
On.
That Prince, canceling
Yes.
the renown.
Okay.
Not a bad idea. And here we go. Aegon, as predicted, bringing in Stormcrows.
I guess finding that for Blood of the Dragon next round. If that helps somehow. Although it's a bit of a waste of Aegon, I think, because he is a really strong character if he brings in Darion Harris. Okay, so what's happening here? Okay, Consuming Flames maybe to kill him because he didn't have Dracarys in hand. But then why play Nightmares?
And there's not enough gold for Consuming Flames, right? 0 gold left in hand, only Fealty left standing. Robert opts to defend the unopposed and just kills the Stormcrows.
Okay, so that's a bit weird. I'm not sure what the idea was here. Obviously, you can use the gold from Stormcrows if you're going to claim it for the military claim, but then why bestow it in the first place? I guess.
Yeah, it might be a bluff to trick Bing into not looking at Fealty left standing to predict the Dracarys and lure him into a trap.
Yeah, maybe just making the calculation for the intrigue challenge, so he can defend with 5 and it's 9-5 instead of 9-4, which threatens the runs game, I guess, if there are no further boosts.
Robert asking how much time is left. On my clock in game it says 14 minutes.
Yes.
I will let him know. I will leave the game and see what the timer is on the lobby. It's 42 minutes played, so 14 minutes might work out.
Yeah.
I will let him know via Discord real quick.
I have 13:40 on my clock. Interesting that everyone gets this differently and it can get messed up. So it's not
Yeah,
actually...
it's really weird. It's not server. So if I remember correctly, when I built that feature, it just it's just a number of seconds that expired since the start of the game, and then it calculates that into timestamps on the client side. So that might be why it's having some hiccups on some players' screens. We'll definitely have to look into that.
Yeah, and the time here is of course a problem for Robert because even if he now takes control of the game and burns some stuff, with so much draw, Martell is always going to put characters on the board to stop some of the unopposed, I think. And then how are you getting to 15 or even to be ahead when this expires within a round or two?
Definitely, yeah. So it's 9-1 and on to round 4 or 5? 5.
So 3 plots left. There will be this threat of the runs game for the rest of the game now, because when you reveal the next one you go to 8 briefly and then okay, you reveal the last one, but there is still modifiers, Ricasso, Galtown, and you do another behest then. So it's never going to drop back to 0 like it does, like it did in the past, for instance, just with the core set options you had. So close call gets Drogon back, which is a decent threat, and we have another for the realm, so that's the duplicated plot here. And it makes sense because economy is the biggest struggle.
Yeah, especially playing the 6 cost armies. Eight gold left for Robert, so ambush Drogon still a possibility. And 15 gold in total for Bing. Having some connection problems. But card draw doesn't care about connection problems. Gets 8 cards for Secret Scheme. Just wow.
Yeah, so
Such a strong card.
maximum of 5 on the runs game, but the rest of the stuff that works with your plot piles doesn't have that. limit, so in Duran's name also can get a huge amount of gold. And it is demonstrably extremely strong. And now, even if he doesn't have Duran's game, but let's be honest, so he's drawn 2/3 of his deck, he probably does have it. Even
Yeah.
if he didn't have it, he's just going to swarm the board. Worst case scenario, he stops all the unopposed, and he can't really lose the game because time will expire before that.
Robert going in for the power challenge with just the lone dragon, so no Dracarys threat anymore. And Bing just blocks it with Tattered Prince, collects the renown, and Robert passes.
Yeah, still the Windblown can stand him for the additional renown. Although now there is no gold, so he will be going back if the game doesn't end this round. Now let's see if Duran's game finally. Possibly not, because this can be defended with everything. Yeah, but then that leaves another couple of unopposed challenges, so not great either way.
And Prince's plan to just boost a character with how much strength? 5, 6, 7, 8. As predicted,
Yeah,
Loren's game finishes it off.
bound to
GG,
happen.
well played.
Yeah, so I was kind of hoping we would get to the next round where there would be then 8 plots in the used pile with naval superiority and Behest coming back, and then you have Galtown and Ricasa for 3 more, and you would get 11 cards for secret schemes. That would be, I think, a record number. But yeah, really well played here for Robin. So he makes it all the way to the final. I can show you the graphic here. So this is the double elimination system that we had with everyone starting in the winner's bracket, and Robin was he dropped against Alex immediately into the loser's bracket, so he had to win 4 games in a row just to reach the final,
Impressive.
and needs another 2 now against Reinhardt in the final. So do you know, Lucas, what the system is for the finals? So we have 2 games. If Robin wins the first one, does that mean that the players can switch decks before the second game?
Oh, I'm not aware of the rules for that, but that sounds interesting. Some mind games
Yeah,
might
so
come up
we'll
then.
need to confirm that. I know that Reinhardt has a couple of decks he likes to play, so I'm sure he would be thinking of switching if he lost the first one. But of course, that's kind of risky because the opponent also can then expect that and try to counter it.
Yeah, but definitely sounds like a really, really tense and good final to come up, possibly next week then.
Yeah, so everyone invited to watch that with us. Hopefully we can stream that one live as well. I'm not sure if the games will be played back to back, if there are two games, or if there is going to be a break in between. We'll have to confirm the schedule, but yeah, no excuse for not joining us. We have two of the very best players in the world, and the climax of this tournament coming up. So very much looking forward to that. So who do you think, Lukas, is the favorite?
I have to say Reinhard because I'm still really amazed by our first meeting. It's such a great guy, kind of opponent, and he totally wiped the floor with my deck. I think he had Queensguard Khal Drogo from the first turn, and it was over by the second turn. And then we chatted after the game for the last 40 minutes. So I'm rooting for Reinhardt here, but of course, Bing having won every game in the bottom bracket really shows he's a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, so both of them winning four in a row, if you think about it. So in different brackets, Reinhardt as the undefeated player for sure is he has a good chance here, and looking forward to that. I hope we'll see his the Traki deck that is really impressive and seems to win really quickly and dominantly in every game I've recorded of it. So sure, one of the two games, if he can switch decks, he'll use that one. And then in this tournament, he also played the Voltron deck with attachments. I think he played Kohor with
Okay.
Daenerys and Tokars, and she had something crazy like 20 strength and participated
Wow.
in every challenge. So that's a
That sounds cool.
good one as well. I don't think Burn is his preferred choice, but I think he can do that if he has to as well.
Yeah, really looking forward to the final, and congratulations to Bing to making it to the final.
Okay, so thanks everyone for joining us on this one, and see you next week. Have a good weekend. Take care.
Bye bye.